Hi everyone, very warm welcome to all of you. So we are here to celebrate Gem 3 of our 1 month long anniversary series. And tonight we are diving into a topic which touches most of us. That's the choice paradox, right? And why modern dating feels so hard is what we are going to discuss today. We live in the world of infinite options, yet finding real connection is very difficult. To help us explore, I'm joined with a very talented panelist and our moderator for the evening. Introducing the panelist. First, I'd like to introduce Tarika Modi. Tarika, hi.
Hi.
Tarika is a counseling psychologist offering trauma informed mindfulness based therapy for teens and adults. She specializes in trauma recovery, loneliness, relationship issues, and emotional resilience. Using IFS, EMDR, presence presence oriented psychotherapy and CBT, she helps clients understand their inner world, heal past burdens, and create meaningful change. Hello, am I audible? There was a technical glitch. Yeah, am I audible? Madhurima?
Yes,
Yes,
you
you're
are.
audible.
Mm.
Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay. Next, we have Dr. Madhurima De Sarkar. Madhurima is an RCI registered clinical psychologist with over 9 years of experience in psychotherapy, teaching, supervision, and research. She holds a PhD in applied psychology from University of Calcutta with a focus of geriatric psychiatry, particularly loneliness and well-being after retirement. She currently works as a psychological counselor at the Association for Cultivation of Science, Kolkata, and as a consultant clinical psychologist at Marga. Her work is grounded in acceptance and commitment therapy, and she has published widely on the subject. It's an honor to have you, Madhurima. Hello.
Thank you so much, Fatima, for having me here.
And finally, serving as both a panelist and a moderator tonight, we have Shreya with us. Shreya Bunia is pursuing her master's in clinical psychology from Brainware University. She's an aspiring psychologist and a very big research enthusiast involved in mental health initiatives with Parindi Foundation, Fortis Healthcare, and Minds Treasure. Shreya, I'll hand the floor over to you to lead us through this conversation. Over to you, Shreya.
I think there's a technical glitch, isn't it, Tarika? Yeah.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah,
I can't see Shreya for sure.
I guess she got logged out or something.
No.
Mm. Do you think you want to start anyway?
Yeah, yeah. Let's do
Wait, I
that.
see some notification. Just give me one. Shreya is on muted choice. I think before I jump into any question, and
Mhm.
maybe we can just wait for her to join in, Shreya to join in. I'm wondering, how are you feeling about this today? Going live and talking
Feeling
about Valentine's Day and we,
it's something like it's making me nervous. It's
yeah,
also making me excited as well. And I think one of the main questions that we are going to address today, or we are going to talk about, um, is on love, an
yeah,
enigmatic concept, isn't it? The answer of which we all probably are still finding out. So I'm excited.
absolutely,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I also want to know from all of you, especially you, Tarika, um, like what do you think are the different kinds of relationship issues or the loneliness issues that you see in clients? Similarly, because I see a lot of clients grappling with loneliness during this
yeah,
Valentine's. We have a
yeah,
lot of
yeah,
days like, isn't it? Rose Day, Propose Day, Teddy Day. And I think
yeah,
we,
absolutely. I see Shreya's here. Hi, Shreya, can you hear us?
hi, Shreya.
Yes, I can hear you. Are you all hearing me now?
Yes.
Yes, Shreya.
Okay. So I
We were
missed
just
that love.
discussing how this experience is for us,
Yes.
talking about Valentine's week and love and loneliness around this week, and how there are so many things to take care of. There's Rose Day, Teddy Day, Propose Day, Hug
Yes.
Day, Kiss Day. I think I'm missing
Promise
two.
that.
Yeah, Promise. Oh,
We
right,
Yes.
covered
right.
everything.
No
Promise.
promise.
Sorry. Yeah. And this expectation that everyone has, that we have to be happy and content, and we have to
Mhm.
do all these grand gestures, uh, shower our loved ones, romantic partners. When we talk about loved ones, somehow the pressure goes on to just that romantic partner who we need to buy gifts for, take them out on dates, and God knows what all. In fact, I was reading a research paper where there is an expectation of a certain $1 billion that expenditure in the US, which happens during this Valentine's week. And unfortunately, what some people are unable to understand, how there can be some form of dissatisfaction that can also creep in. For example, someone who recently experienced a breakup. This can be like a major reminder, a trigger for them, something that reminds them of all the moments that they might have spent with their loved ones and how that void can resurface. And uh, just that unrealistic expectation. I mean, I'm supposed to be doing so much for someone, and the moment we talk about singlehood and Valentine's Week, oh God, it's like a conflict. It's like a chaos that can't coexist, and that's where the loneliness creeps in. That I'm missing out on something. I don't have this part of my life fixed. There's no certainty there. And that rush to meet those expectations, I need to find someone, and I need to have these stories posted, some validation that we might be looking for from social media, because access is easily available there. Yeah, but I think in short, there's so much of pressure that we've put on this week to show love and celebrate love,
Mm.
specifically romantic love, that there's this disconnect that also comes in where we forget that love can be expressed to some other people as well, to ourselves above all. Yeah,
So yes, as Tarika was saying that, now love has become all about grand gestures, isn't it? Like how grand can you be? But
yeah,
I essentially that's really superficial when we think about it. Yes, gestures are a big part of our lives. We do like to get pampered. We do like to be celebrated by our partners. But from what I observe, that love is more than making grand romantic gestures. It is to find that emotional security and connection with someone with whom you can feel understood, safe, sometimes non-judgmental even. I know non-judgmental or being non-judgmental is a very difficult task to begin with, uh,
Mm.
but listen to by your partner. I think that is what we understand of love. I was thinking the other day, do we consider love as a feeling, or do we consider love as an action? Because both of them have different kinds of connotations, isn't it? Love as a feeling,
Interesting.
because when we think of love, we think of it as a feeling, and but then we hear concepts like everlasting love. How can a feeling be everlasting? Our
Yeah.
anger, our happiness, our anxiety is also not everlasting. It goes up and down, it fluctuates from time to time. So either we can consider love as a feeling which naturally goes up and down. It can depend on stress, it can depend on mood fluctuations. And I think somewhere both our feelings and thoughts is something that is not in our control. I come from a background of training a lot in acceptance and commitment therapy. And one of the main tenets of that therapy is you cannot control feelings and thoughts as much as you'd like to believe. But our entire life is focused on how to control it. Why am I not feeling in love with this person at this moment when they're not in the best of the behavior? So either we can consider love as a feeling, or we can consider love as an action also, something that we choose to do. Um,
Mm.
Maybe the kind of communication that we have with our partner, even though we might be in conflict at that moment. Um, Actions are something which is under our control. Action is something which can be, uh, decided by us even in moments of despair. We can choose to take an effective action even in moments of conflicts with our partner. So I believe, when we talk about love, we can also think of the kind of small steps that we take to repair after conflicts. Maybe going to our partners and making them feel that, listen, yeah, we had a fight right now, and I banged the door on your face and went away, but look, I'm here again to talk it out with you. So feelings can come
Mm.
and go, but actions are something which is again completely in our control. I remember this wonderful quote by a psychologist called Dr. Russ Harris. He has this book named Act with Love, and he talked about a very poignant definition about true love. So he said true love is not about feeling loved all the time. It's about being able to act with love even when you are not feeling any love towards your partner. Even
Wow,
when you want to
beautiful.
probably
Yeah.
see your partner, even when you don't want to see your partner, you are like, okay, I don't want to see your face, but if I think of love as an action, I will be willing somewhere to see their face and talk it out,
Mm.
prepare, work on it. So I think that is how I have understood love as, through my clients' stories, through training, through real life as well. So yeah.
Mm. I think before Shreya takes over, I would really like to appreciate this angle of looking at the concept of love and how I'm going to use this in my sessions as something to differentiate what if love is
Yeah,
a feeling, love is an action.
absolutely.
Do
That
you
is very
feel?
insightful. Like we
Yeah.
are seeing another perspective from love, and now we can see love in another perspective. अच्छा love ऐसे भी होता
Hmm.
है. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And like just a thought that came up for me was that, and how this doesn't have to be restricted just for this Valentine's week. It can be a practice for the entire year, for the entire
Yes.
relationship tenure, the the entire duration of your lifetime. This can be an occasion that we can, of course, take an extra step towards our loved ones, not
Mm.
specifically a romantic partner, but anyone who makes life a little easier for us. It can be a family person, like a member, a sibling, a parent, a friend, a mentor, a pet. Maybe giving the pet some cake if I want to do that, if that's what showing love looks like. Or
Mm.
maybe getting a rose for yourself on Rose Day.
Absolutely. So what I understand from you, Tarika, is not to look at love as as just one phase of life, or just like, okay, I
Oh,
need it only in the Valentine's week to feel more recognized, but looking at it from the lens of love as a value. And I
yeah,
think when
yeah,
we think of love as an important value, which can shape our lives, which can give meaning, automatically it has a lot of, uh, I think, importance in making us the kind of people that we are. And it's necessary that if this is a Valentine's week or a Valentine's Day coming up, we only have to think about the
yeah.
romantic angle. We can show love to, as you said, to us. And that actually gets neglected a lot in our lives. We become so dependent sometimes, and especially from my client stories I have heard, sometimes our identity becomes so dependent on our
Mm,
romantic partners that we forget who we are, and we need to love ourselves as well. So this Valentine's week, all the people who are there watching us single, um, please go out and celebrate this day as you would think your partner would do for you. I think it's important to celebrate yourself
mm.
also, to feel loved. Had I been single, I would have done that for sure. Yes. So
In fact,
I
I
want
But
to
I
think,
come.
think there's
Yeah, yeah.
also a strange part. Like we enjoy our singlehood or yourselfhood, but when it comes on social media, like when we scroll, we automatically comparison with ourselves. Okay, and we also get that like emotionally feeling low. So how to get admit that okay, yes, I am emotionally feel low too.
Mm.
yeah, absolutely. I think that's a very important point, Shreya. How before we try to fix something, fix an emotion, fix a thought, or fix a state of mind that we are in, acknowledgement of this is what's going on for me and creating that space to, for that feeling to actually be there becomes very important. It's as simple as like there's this beautiful example that I use in my sessions to help clients understand how much pressure they are putting on something is imagine an inflated balloon and you're trying to push that balloon underwater. That's exactly what suppressing your emotions looks like. The moment the hands are removed, the balloon is again going to pop back up. If you want to push them down for a very long time, your hands are going to hurt. There's also a possibility that because of a lot of pressure, the balloon might burst after a point. So the entire process is futile. We are fighting against something that really cannot be fought against, and it might come back stronger. That's the that's the irony of it. We want to control our emotions, and then emotions start controlling our actions after a point.
Mm.
So, like we were talking about how acknowledgement that yeah, this is what's going on for me, and then maybe moving a step closer to our emotion and understanding that what is it that this part needs from me right now? What is it looking for or craving for? Because even in relationships, what I understand based on my interactions with people is that it is how they make us feel that we are looking for. So it's about something that I want to feel. And I'll take one line from what Madhurima said that it's the action. So we don't have control over our actions. And if we know our needs, it can become easier for us to meet that. And then no one has to take that burden that, oh my God, I need to get flowers, I need to get chocolates, I need to do this and that. Showing
That's
up
so
with an
mm,
intention of meeting
yeah.
our needs and maybe meeting someone else's needs.
Just needs, yeah.
Mm.
And as Shreya was saying, that there's this constant um, comparison when we
Yeah.
see people going out on, say, on dates, and those things are highlighted on social media, all these grand gestures that we see around. I think one thing we have to remember is we are constantly exposed to curated images of perfect relationships.
Yeah.
When we look at social media, we are basing one curated, highlighted part of their lives and overgeneralizing it to our entire lives and to our entire identity. I think somewhere,
Mm-hmm.
as Tarika was saying, it's important to acknowledge that even this is just part and a moment of someone else's life. A lot of times, especially in today's day and age, we do not know what is happening behind the scenes. um, but based on that one reel or that one post by someone who we probably, who we feel is leading probably the best of their lives, we start to think, oh, then my life is probably really in the dumps, or I'm missing out on something. um, with clients, I have seen that these beliefs were previously there. In Valentine's week, they get triggered or activated. It's not that Valentine's week is a phase where these beliefs get started on their own, but I feel these beliefs get activated during Valentine's week. So somewhere we have to deep down search and ask ourselves that even though I might not be in a romantic relationship right now, still, what kind of a life can I create which can give me some kind of meaning? Um, if we think of our lives, I have always envisioned life as a accumulation of a lot of domains. We have our academic domain, we have our career domain, we have our relationship domain, our maybe some leisure domain, social domain. There are these different kinds of domains which at the end of the day make the entirety of our life. um, so how about if we also show love to the other domains as well during the time, because as Tarika was also saying, it's important to show love to us, it's important to reflect within and start loving even those parts of us which we are, not completely or entirely in love with. I know that comes with a lot of challenges on its own, because we in our, like, in the society that we live, we are not taught to do that. We are always, the kind of
Mhm. Mhm.
that we have gotten is, look how much better that person is than you. When it comes to any domain, that is. And everyone has this I also wanted to touch upon one thing, and I would really want to know both Tarika's and Shreya's thoughts on it. Like, don't you think there is this conception of, how can I get a perfect partner? I see this a lot. How can I get a perfect partner? I get clients who tell me, like, these are the flaws in my current partner. Maybe there is someone better waiting for me.
Mhm. Mhm.
I am sure you both must have noticed this, that there is this perfection myth that plays along in our lives all along. Not like, especially so in love and in other domains as well. How can I be the best professional that there is in the world? So I just wanted to touch upon that. Isn't it a myth that we are chasing? Is this really a reality? Like, oh, there will be a time when there will be a person who will do anything and everything for me, will come my knight in a shining armor, and that's the
Oh,
reality.
yeah.
and and somewhere, in that chase for getting the perfect partner, we forget that what makes us human is also our emotions and thoughts, which are not very comfortable as well.
Yeah.
So, somewhere, even trying to address these myths and trying to put a more effective version of what we are looking for in love nowadays. So, I just want,
Hmm.
also get both of your thoughts on this. That do you also see this trend of wanting or searching a perfect partner? Like, let me swipe right and right and right till I get that person.
Okay.
And I think that is a stage which doesn't come. Because how will I know who is that perfect partner for me? So please, your thoughts as well, Tarika, Shreya.
I think
Shreya,
there
would
is
you
a
like
lots
to
of
take it?
modern,
Hmm.
yes, there's like a
Hmm.
lots of modern dating apps. We just finding, and in the Gen Z, in our generation, we just staging these names, crumbling, situationship, and with this words we find someone perfect. Maybe there is someone perfect. Just we are doing searching again and again.
So true.
Yeah. And maybe to build up on what Shreya and Madhurima both of you all mentioned, honestly, I was trying to look up what are the modern dating terms, and I found so many words that I was unaware of. Some of
Mm.
the words that caught my attention was roaching, orbiting,
Oh, okay.
catfishing, riz, and oh wait, I think I made a note of it somewhere. Um, God, I can't even. Soft launching, hard launching, benching, breadcrumbing, zombieing. And there were about 20, 21 words that I just saw in one article. And I was like, okay, all these things actually happen because the descriptions are so apt.
Yeah.
Uh, Along with that, I think what becomes important for us to understand is based on the dynamics that are playing out in any relationship, be it a romantic relationship or otherwise, if we can understand how we are being received, how the dynamics are playing out, whether our needs are being met or not, we can expect that uncertainty to actually become certain. We can understand how emotionally available the other person can be. The first thing that comes to any person's mind, I think I speak for most people, the moment that someone cheats on their partner or there is some form of um, just something that's not working out, people tend to personalize that मेरे में क्या कमी थी? What did I do wrong? Where did
Mm.
I go wrong? What did I miss? Was I not enough? All these beliefs get activated, not realizing that the other person may not be capable of giving that security to us. They themselves are they themselves have these deep-seated insecurities, this need to manipulate, the need to control. Like love bombing, for example. I'm sure this is a very common term nowadays. In dating, also, this comes up where a person will shower the other person with a lot of love, affection, gifts, make you feel like you are on cloud nine. And the moment they feel that the other person uh, is committing to them, it all dies down. It all is taken away. This is a form of manipulation. This was to get you engaged in my cycle so that I can control you. I'll give you that validation so that later on you give me that validation back by staying with me so that I feel loved. This dependency itself can be very problematic in dynamics. That only if my partner is happy with me am I capable, am I good enough, am I lovable.
Yes.
And unfortunately, that can lead to increased levels of anxiety, walking on
Mm.
eggshells, low moods based on my partner's mood, and seasonal depression, which can come around this time where Valentine's Week or some major events like Diwali, Holi, Durga Puja, where people want to hang out with a group
Mm.
of people, with their
Together.
partners.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that crisis can come in at that time.
That's so true.
And
And I think, Tarika, you touched upon something so important, like how to navigate, singlehood and loneliness uh, in this kind of a world. Along with that, I would also want to stress here, and I always say this to my clients, and I try to practice it myself. Is
yeah,
relationships are supposed to be very messy. I mean, more than thinking of relationships, as you said, that there are these terms that are now so relevant in the current generation and the generations to come. Uh, because these terms show the side, it shows a human side,
yeah.
but it also focuses somewhere that relationships need to be perfect. If you're indulging in something like, say, as you said, love bombing, these are parts where, where you see those flaws in a human being. Along with that, as I was saying, that relationships are supposed to be very messy, because when two people with their own upbringing, with their own personality, with their own dislikes, likes, are coming together, the different kinds of habits that they have, the communication styles that they have, the expectations that they have, there is bound to be a conflict. But somewhere, as this I think the kind of narrative that has been thrown upon us is, and especially so if you see in the entertainment world, in the media, that
Oh,
at the
yes.
end of the
Yeah.
day, everything is fine, like as they say, happily ever after.
Yes.
But why
Yes.
do we have to be happy ever after? Happiness is an emotion at the end of the day. Can't we feel the other emotions with our partner? Can't we feel sad when we are with our partner? Why do we have this? And I think it creates a lot of burden when we feel that, okay, I need to be happy and joyful or elated with my partner. I can't feel anything else. Otherwise, if I'm feeling that, then there's something wrong either with me or with them or in the entire relationship. And that's the reason why there is this search for who is the better one here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's the reason I always say that, you will have to consider that relationships are supposed to be messy, but if we think of it from the action of love, are we willing to deal with the mess with this person? Are we willing to resolve the conflicts, keeping this person at my side? So I think that is also very important, because this is the kind of picture, this is the kind of narrative that we see a lot in social media day and age, especially so right now. If I open my Instagram, I'll see so many couples out on vacations and holidays, and I would then tell my husband, "Look, I am working here. I am on a Wednesday evening. I'm a part of a panel where I'll be going out for dinner." So
Yeah.
mm, thinking about it in terms of that, yes, there are bound to be a lot of conflicts when it comes to staying with another person. And if we have that in mind, if we can acknowledge and accept it, I'm sure couples will be willing to look into conflicts more efficiently and effectively once they
Yeah.
dispel these myths that they are there.
Hmm. In fact, right now, as you were talking about all these things, Madhurima, there were so many points that came up for me which is relevant. I think we blame social media a little too much. What I mean to say by that is that these are people who we know and we are trying to have a moment. Of course, all these moments are well directed and produced, and it's actually an act. It's not really that authentic moment because authentic moments are not captured on a camera. It's not possible,
Mm.
right?
The social media is
And
like filtered version.
Yeah,
absolutely
Filtered
filtered,
version.
well
filtered
thought,
version.
directed, played out. It's
Yeah,
like a movie going on.
yeah.
And another thing that I was relating that to, I don't want to take names, but there are some celebrities who take a certain picture during their weddings, and
Mhm.
somehow that becomes the trend that everyone wants to do a namaste, everyone wants to, just do a woohoo or pull the other person, things like that. That is the unrealistic expectation that Bollywood also ends up setting for people, general public, and it looks so romantic. It looks so
Mm,
fancy and dreamy. I want to live that moment.
mm,
And then it just becomes like a show. There's
mm.
so much of controversy around that one moment that could or could not happen.
That's so.
And I'll go back to what you were saying about finding that perfect person. You rightly pointed that out, Madhurima, that we all are filled with flaws,
Mm,
more than one. I don't say that you are full of flaws. Like everyone has some flaw or the other. I'm sure
mm,
I have made mistakes. I know I have.
mm.
I'm sure you have too. And Shreya would also agree to that. We all will make mistakes because no one has that script of life. But somehow dating apps are selling us this idea that, yeah, there are these 100 people available on this app, and maybe you'll find five people who you can match with. In fact, there was an interesting reel that I saw. It was a clip from a podcast where dating apps run on the idea that you will come back again and again. So it's not trying to serve the purpose that
Mhm.
you find the perfect one and you leave the app. I want more
Yeah,
engagement on my app.
yeah.
So it
Mhm,
is not
mhm,
promising you lifelong love and happiness.
yeah. Mm,
That's not the business plan here. But that's what we are looking for. And on the basis of what?
mhm.
A few lines, a few like things that I can know about the person. What are they looking for? Most people, I'm sorry to say, but most people lie on it.
Mhm,
They promise something, they turn out to be someone else. Catfishing is one example of what happens nowadays.
mhm,
And people would say looking for a relationship, but they are actually looking for something else. And then the sense of betrayal can come in, questioning your own self worth. विश्वास उठ जाना पूरे कॉन्सेप्ट से, फिर वो डिप्रेशन के मोड में हम चले जाते हैं, and then recovering from it only to fall back in again
mhm.
because we have to look for the one. Our partner is supposed to be our savior. घोड़े पे कोई आएगा मुझे बचाएगा. No one's coming to save you. No one. This is something that even uh, at least I heard those stories when I was growing up. Cinderella.
Yeah, yeah. Even me.
एक
Yeah.
जन someone will come who is this perfect, charming person, a rich prince. He'll come on a horse and fix everything for me. And that's
Every
the idea
yes.
that we grew up with. And we
Yeah.
strongly believe in that.
That's so true. That's so true. And
And
I
that
think
puts
here
so
we
much of
need to
pressure on this person. Sorry, yeah,
on this.
Madhurima.
So as you were saying this, Tarika, I was thinking that then how would a meaningful connection or intentional love look like? Um, we
Hmm.
talking about okay, will there be a perfect person? And by now, I'm sure people who are watching this have gotten an idea that there is no one perfect person. There is no
The
perfect
sad
relationship
reality.
as
Yeah.
well. But just want to touch upon like then what does intentional love look like? Um, Whenever a client is grappling through loneliness, especially when they're single or even when they are in a relationship, I ask them this question that instead of asking who will choose me, you can ask yourself what kind of connection enhances my emotional well-being and also aligns with my values.
Yeah.
Because life doesn't start only when you are in a relationship. Life is still happening on the side. There are other things that you are also a part of. Um, so can we look into the broader aspect, like what kind of connection will foster my overall well-being and as well as it will make me an effective person as well. And I use the term effective for the sole reason because we sometimes go into these labels, and I have seen my clients go into these labels of good, bad, positive, negative. I always tell them that let's debunk these labels for now, because good, bad, positive, negative are very relative in nature, and again very societally conditioned. So how about if we think in this way: what makes me an effective person, and what action is workable for me, which can give me more meaning, and the actions which are workable for me, we can work on that. I think that can help us to build a meaningful connection as well, not only with other people, with the other domains of our life, trying to work from it, and looking at it from a lens of, again, I'm coming back to that particular term, values, because I feel values are like a compass. um, I always
Hmm.
feel like if we are lost in a forest, so if, for example, we are lost in our beliefs that, oh, I'm good for nothing and there's no one better than me, and I have to get out of this forest, then value will act like a compass for me. And that value
Hmm.
can be anything. It can be from the lens of love, but it can be anything else as well. So I would encourage the people who are watching this YouTube live today, that how about we think of values that can shape us in our lives, rather than focusing on a goal of, okay, let me get that perfect partner and tick it off, because yeah, that's not going to happen. So yes, how about we look at it from a lens of value. So when life starts feeling meaningful in different ways, relationships is something that we welcome, and not
Hmm.
something that we depend on to create an identity for us. Um, because we all are from psychology background, and I'm sure in our graduation days we had read this about Erik Erikson's theory, isn't it? Where he talked about so many conflicts, and I remember this one conflict. Shreya must be reading it right now as well. I do not know whether she has Erik Erikson's theory, but there's this main conflict that he talks about in in the young adulthood phase, which is called intimacy versus isolation.
Isolation.
And he said this beautifully, that we need to find a balance between intimacy and isolation, because too much intimacy is not right, as well as too much isolation is also, it does not always work for us. So how about if we find that balance, where we are able to be intimate with our partner, but also to keep our own individual identity intact. And from there, that strength of love develops, isn't it? So we can even think of love, we can think of love as well as our own sense of identity in this week as well. So yeah.
Absolutely. And as you mentioned that, Madhurima, I was just making a Venn diagram in my head. How Venn diagram, for those who may not remember, are two circles and there's this intersection bit there. So
Mhm.
the intersection bit is what the common space in a relationship would look like, where both
Yeah.
people come and there are certain common grounds that they meet uh, on, and there are some needs that they share, expectations, all of that. And the remaining part is me outside the relationship, which is equally important. Equally, I think it's more important
Mhm.
because, and I say that because for us to be happy in a relationship, we have to have that sense of satisfaction within. Not saying that I need to love myself to the greatest extent. I have to be Geet of Jab We Met. No, we
Mhm.
don't have to be that.
Yeah.
Rather, we just have to look internally into uh, what who am I? What what are some of the words that describe me? And it's okay if there are some negative words that come up.
Yeah. Mhm.
Negatives can be worked on, positives become our resources.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when we can build that deep inner connection, then we will be able to even commit to the other person. How will I convey what I need if I myself am unaware of it?
Mhm.
Partner cannot read my mind. That's another unrealistic expectation that people have. That उसको समझ जाना चाहिए था. मैं
Mhm.
नाराज हूँ.
Mhm.
तो तभी तो मैं
True.
ये की, मैं वो की। आप बोलो, आपको क्या
True.
चाहिए? I'll use this line that I heard in the series Lucifer. What is it
Mm-hmm.
that you truly desire? Maybe let's ask
Yeah.
ourselves that.
Yeah.
What is it that I
Yeah.
truly desire from a partner, from a relationship? Because unfortunately, sometimes we treat relationships as the solutions to a lot of problems.
Mm-hmm.
Relationship है loneliness चला जाएगा. No. I know so many
Mm-hmm.
people who are lonely in a relationship,
In a
unfortunately.
relationship. Yeah.
And
And the
that's
vice
equally
versa is
painful.
also true. That even if someone is single, they might be feeling at ease, or they might have a very
Absolutely.
meaningful life. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, happiness. So I think what we do is we draw the connection that being single means we are missing out on something, something is
Mm.
lagging.
Yeah.
Some people say, hang in there, you'll find someone. I don't want to find someone right now.
Mhm.
I mean, that can also
Yeah.
be a need for some people
And
that
that
I
is
want to
okay.
explore.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I think with more awareness, what we can try is actually identify the stigmas that we work with,
Mm.
these ideas that we've uh, grown up with and that we are functioning from. And then we break those barriers for ourselves. We look beyond those barriers.
Mm.
And that's where the inner work starts.
Yeah.
Being alone doesn't mean that I'm lonely.
Lonely. Yeah. Yeah.
Rather,
That's
loneliness would come when there is this clash, when my expectation of social connection versus my need of that intimacy in relations is not
mm.
being met. There's a gap there.
Yeah. Mm.
So, in short, relationships are not a solution, they are a responsibility. That's an add on where I'm willing to accept the other person's baggage and share my baggage with them.
Mm.
And
Mm.
together we use multiple life skills of communication, building a trust among ourselves, problem solving, conflict resolution, and
Mm. Mm.
communication, if I haven't mentioned that, and so much more. And in Indian society, I think one thing that we often forget is literally the families that get involved. So there are so many ideologies that are coming in.
Mm. That's so true. So yeah, a very important point that you touched upon, Tarika, that there's a difference between loneliness and solitude, and we
Absolutely.
can feel, at ease. A lot of times we want personal me time. We hear this term a lot. I want some me time. Um, and that is important because then we are able to reflect, introspect on ourselves. We'll be able to put energy or effort into things that we would want to do it all alone. And that's absolutely fine. Loneliness, as you said, develops when there is a mismatch between what I want and what I need,
Yeah.
or what
Yeah.
I want and right now, where am I? So,
Hmm.
uh,
Hmm.
absolutely, like it's very important to um, not get into a relationship to deal with loneliness.
Yeah. I think that's how we end up in problematic situations. What I mean is,
Mm-hmm.
we'll jump into something without noticing the red flags. We love that initial honeymoon
Yeah,
phase,
yeah.
and
Honeymoon phase. Yeah, yeah.
what comes after that is the real challenge, and that will
Mm.
keep happening until we learn how to
Yeah,
get past that. And that has to be intentional.
yeah.
I have to go in a relationship with the
Mm-hmm.
intention of not making this the perfect relationship of my life, but
Mm-hmm.
trying to work together to have beautiful memories, to solve those conflicts, to make life easier
Yeah,
for both of us, not just for myself. And my partner is
yes.
not my therapist. My partner cannot fix things for me. My partner cannot be responsible for my happiness.
mm,
So
mm,
if we start by, okay, I'm not feeling okay, I wish I had someone, you're expecting them to fix things for me. They
mm.
can't. No
Bec-
one can't. A therapist can't solve problems for you.
yeah,
We are not supposed to give
that's
solutions. Rather we are here to hold that space for you so that you can identify those resources, so that the process can be facilitated and things can be less overwhelming for you. And you, in
yeah.
turn, can find those solutions for
Kind of,
yourself.
absolutely. That's very important point, Tarika, because I think a lot of times people have this belief that therapists are advice givers, solution givers. But our main aim is not to give you advice and to curate solutions for you. Our aim is to give you that space where you can find out solutions for your own life. I have a lot of clients who come to me and tell me, ma'am, tell me, should I be in this relationship? And I say, okay, if I say you shouldn't be, and then if something goes wrong, what are you going to come back and tell me? Because if we really wanted advices, we are just a search engine away. We can just
Yeah,
type and ask, like, okay, what can I do here? Even so, right now with the advent of AI, uh, but why we still don't resonate with those advices is because somewhere clients especially, I always tell them that you are the best judge of your life. I am not. I am trying to get to know you. I'm trying to get to know your history. But what works for you and what doesn't work for you is something that you know the best. And no matter how many sessions I take, I will never get to know it. And as a therapist, my aim is to make you a resilient and probably I use this term a lot, and a person who is able to solve their problems on their own rather be dependent again on a therapist to give them the ideas and solutions. So yeah, this is really important because some people come to the therapy sessions with the expectation that I'm going to get all the answers that I need. My therapist will tell
mm,
me if this partner is good or bad. I have had so
mm,
many instances where I have been asked by my ma'am, please tell me, should I be with this person? You because
mm,
then I said that let us figure it out. You can talk it out. I can be a guide to you, or can give you that scaffolding, but you have to take that decision. And that is our main aim, to make them their own decision makers. So, very important
absolutely.
point.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think, like you explained it beautifully, Madhurima, we are not here to take away the agency from the client. Rather, we want to give it back to them, remind them
Back
that
to
they
them.
still
Yeah.
have it. They still
Yeah.
have control over their life, even though
Yeah.
they feel a little helpless right now.
Mhm.
And of course, there are many parts that also play out when they start expecting that answer from the other person, that you tell me what to do, which is very
Mhm.
natural. And that's where the exploration begins, that what part of you is wanting that
Mhm.
hand holding.
We are nearing the end of the
Yeah.
life.
Yes,
And this
like this
seems
is the
like such a
best
short
solution.
duration. I mean, there's so much more to talk about.
More to talk about it. True.
Actually,
Yes, Shreya.
in this generation, we have a lot of options, and we are
Mm.
just running to these options. Like, okay,
Mm.
if this does not work, there is one another, and we are just running to that perfection, and that's all. Like,
Mm.
if you give one any advice, like who is being by choice stay alone, or by choice they're into a relationship, how to they be in this? Like, there's a lot of solution you all are discussed, but like a
Mhm.
one line or one sentence advice for them,
True.
if you
I
could.
So
think
I'll
this completely
talk it out.
negates what we just spoke about, that we are not here to give advice.
But yeah, having said that, that's so true. Um, I'll keep it very like something from the kind of therapy that I practice, acceptance and commitment therapy. So I'm talking from the act perspective, that feelings like loneliness or comparison, because I see there's a question here asked by the audience: social media competition for picture perfect photos, how does that impact the way couple live nowadays? And I think we talked about it on how we tend to find that perfect partner. Uh, but one line that you were asking, share, like how can like something that the audience can go away with. So from an act perspective, um, we believe that difficult feelings like loneliness or comparison will show up, and that's part of being a human. But we don't have to let those feelings dictate our choices. Somewhere, if we accept that, yes, um, these strong uncomfortable feelings or beliefs are there, and no matter what I do, sometimes they take such a front seat in my mind, that I feel that my entire life revolves around that negativity. Let me break it down to you. Those are very normal and natural to have. Our mind in general is a self critical machine. um, and you might have noted, all of us, I think all of us on this planet, our minds are very self-critical in nature. um, and and I think the reason why it has developed like that is because from time eternity we have only been hearing criticisms about ourselves, or about others. Most of the time, hardly we have heard praises that much as in context to the number of criticism that we hear. And the reason why our mind is self critical is because it helped our mind stay or survive in a potentially hostile world in the beginning. If we think from the early human being perspective, if our minds hadn't been self critical, then if you'd have gone out to hunt or gather food, and if there's a predator coming to us, we'll have to be prepared. So our mind would constantly tell us, like, look, there's a lion, or look, there's a bear, and you have to fight it out, or probably flee away. And that's important. Now in this scenario, probably today, what we are talking about, yes, it might not look like we are surviving um, in a potentially hostile, unsafe environment, but still our mind tends to be very self-critical in nature, and that's part of being human. But we don't have to let those feelings dictate our actions. We can think of it in terms that, okay, my feelings are uncontrollable, my thoughts are also uncontrollable many of the times, although I really want to control it, but it is not in my control. We can still take actions aligned with the kind of person that we want to be in life. One of the things that I ask my clients to do is, tell me, who do you find very inspirational in your life? And then they give me some names, maybe a celebrity name, and I would tell them, why do you find them inspirational? And then they would list down the actions that they do, that they take care of their health, or they are into fitness. And I then ask them, um, so you talked about only actions, you didn't say what is going on in their mind. So look, we can't see thoughts, we can't see feelings. When we are also looking at a person, we are seeing their actions. So how about if we can work on that, even in this uh, day and age, in this week of Valentine's, and in the many Valentine's week which are going to come to our lives? How about we think of what kind of partner and person that we want to be? And once we align with those values, I think we will want relationship as an add-on rather than as an intense necessity to be a part of it. So yeah.
I was so lost in what you were saying, Madhurima. For a moment, I'm like, okay, wow, too much. So,
You're too
uh,
kind.
what I, what I heard you say was how our emotions and thoughts, they can be there, and how we decide to act can be
Yeah,
independent of what we are feeling.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and yeah, that's a very beautiful approach, honesty. And I do feel that requires some reflection, some connection with what's going on in my internal world. Of course, noticing our thoughts, but also seeing how something is impacting me. Like if I bring in the lens of presence oriented psychotherapy or trauma work, even attachment for that matter, we all have learned to relate to someone else because of our relations with our primary caregivers, however it was. It can be hot and cold behavior, it can be secure attachment, it can be disorganized, it can be when once I want to pull the person close to me, I want them, I want to cling on to them. The next moment, I want to push them away. But one thing that I've also realized is that we are capable of all these attachment styles. So let's not put ourselves in one box. Let's understand what feels okay for me right now, wherever I'm facing that challenge. Let's not chase the uh, that perfect moment, that perfect time to get married, to be in a relationship, to have a child, to basically working by a timeline. Who made this timeline? It's us. And it may work for one person, it may not work for the other person. And that's okay. If we compare toddlers, one can walk maybe at 8 months and the other may not walk for 1.5 years. And that's okay. But yes, if it goes on till 3 years, 4 years, that's when the concern comes in. So we have to see how much flexibility am I okay with. And one thing that comes to my mind is uh, there's this beautiful, not beautiful, but there's this line that I remember partly. We should be flexible क्योंकि अकड़ तो मुर्दों में भी होती है. True, true, true. Let's not chase
Sarika,
things because of the
that's
perfect.
so important because sorry to interrupt, but I
No
just want
worries.
to because you said na कि अकड़ तो मुर्दों में भी होती है. The other day, I was hearing probably a Bengali story or something, and there was the same line that if you uh, bend backwards, you are still unbreakable, but if you're stiff, then you break. And that's something that came to my mind that yeah, it's important to bend sometimes, it's important to be flexible. That doesn't mean that you're breaking, but if you're stiff in your ways, like if you feel that, oh, I have only one coping mechanism to deal with all kinds of problems, and there are no other coping mechanisms that I'm using from my repertoire, I think that is the example of being, as you said, occurred, or
Yeah.
being stiff in your
That
approach. Yeah.
rigidity. Yeah. Yeah.
Rigidity. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Tarika, please continue.
And then we just conclude that this is who I am. You have to deal
Mm,
with it. This is not who you are. This is who you're choosing
yeah,
to be
yeah,
because you have the choice to act differently. And it's okay if you don't
mm,
know how to do that right now. There's always this professional help available. Therapists are
mm,
available. We are not here to treat पागल के डॉक्टर हम नहीं हैं. We are
mm,
here to help you understand what works for you, what doesn't work for you. And the best part is you yourself are going to conclude that. You're just
mm,
here to make things, maybe help you compartmentalize, identify emotions क्योंकि स्कूल में कोई सिखाया ही नहीं.
mm,
खाली पता
mm,
है अच्छा, बुरा, good, bad, fine, this is
mm,
how we respond. But are we truly in
yeah,
connect with what's going on for us? And once that inner reflection starts, that's when we can start working on things that are not working out for me right now.
mm,
My needs that are not being met. How do I want to meet them? 100% कोई और नहीं कर पाएगा. Maybe my
mm,
partner can give me 40% or 60% or a certain percentage. The remaining, it's my responsibility because my emotions, my needs are my baby.
mm,
If we start looking at, actually, I'm sorry, I'm taking a little more time. There's this beautiful episode that I had seen. I forgot the person's name, And he said that imagine that you are given a baby, a small child, a toddler in your hands, and you are asked to take care of that child. You have to make sure that they are okay, make sure that their needs are being met, give them love. Are you going to be critical about what they are doing? Are you going to constantly beat them up for whatever they are unable to do?
Mhm.
Just like that child became your responsibility, your inner world is your responsibility. There's this child within you who's still craving for that connection from you. पर हम उस बच्चे को पड़ोसी के पास बोल दे रहे कि आप प्यार दो, नहीं दे पाएगा कोई, वो आपका बच्चा है. And we have to be responsible for that. If you don't know how, that's okay. We are here to help you.
Absolutely.
And
What an
if this is
emotionally
something you want to know more
stimulating
about, sorry?
conversation. Yeah. What a stimulating emotional conversation, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm just doing a little promotional thing. If that's something you want to explore, please drop us some comments, and that would be the next
Yes.
topic that we'll address.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But thank you so much, Madhurima, Shreya, for the beautiful
Thank you.
examples and ideas that you all shared. I'm
Thank you
definitely
to you.
going to use some of them.
Same here, same here. I mean, I got to know so many different angles of looking at it from both Tarika and Shreya on love, on relationships. And I think this is something which is going to stay with me for a really, really long time. And yeah, thank you so much. This was an enriching conversation. Um, and I'm really hopeful
Absolutely.
that we can sit together again on something on a, probably on a very different topic later on.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you all. Like it's a more insightful and we all like this week is I think this conversation is too much needed in this week. Like we have a like a FOMO or like many overthinking thoughts are appearing in our minds. So I think that's a great experience. That's a great discussions. Thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you for having us here.
Yeah. And a huge shout out to Mind's Treasure for
Yes.
having us here on this platform. And yes, as they are also saying, to many more such flowy conversations. I would just like to end it like in a world which is so curated, we had something which was so fun and flowing in nature, without any script, without any curation. And I love that because I think we miss that a lot to have conversations like this, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, meaningful conversations and really expressing whatever makes sense to us, whatever matters to us. Like the word that you used, values that direct
Values.
us.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care, everyone.
You too.
Bye bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
Yes, bye. Thank you.